97.3, your hottest digital station. Now
in digital HD sound.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. How you guys doing out there today? It's the one and only DJ Malone, man. Chicago's 77.3, the best place to be at on any day, really, man. We're here at the Avant Media Institute, man, right here in Houston, Screwston, Texas. DJ Screw's birthday was yesterday, so big shouts to DJ Screw, man. So we got greatness into the building, man. My guy right here, man. I want you guys to really get in tune in. Maestro, what's going on, man?
What's going on, DJ Malone?
Man, I appreciate you even allowing me to do this, man. You and Bayer, man. This has been a really dope event, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So just in case anybody who doesn't know you, shame on you if you don't. Shame on you. Let my listeners and tell my people who you are and what you do.
All right, so I'm Maestro, otherwise known as Maestro the Great, straight from Houston, Texas, born and raised. I do audio engineering and production, as well as vocal production and songwriting. Pretty much all of it, man. I'm in my bag or whatnot, and I've been audio engineering for going on 20 years.
Wow.
And for Avant Media Institute, I'm the department chair, so I'm over the curriculum for audio engineering.
Okay.
And then with Track Society, I am on the board of directors as the director of education.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot, bro.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hats.
Yeah, but I love it. I love it.
When did you fall in love with music?
Man, the first go-to is usually, since I was born, like.
Yeah.
But no, you know what? The first time I recall was my older brother. I got two older brothers and one little sister.
Okay.
And the one right above me, man, he used to go to the studio and would come home and had them Triton keyboards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think he had like a Trinity.
Okay.
And then he had a Triton. And he would make these beats on the workstation, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, these beats hard. And I would always have melodies in my head. Okay. And so since then, I had to be like 12, 13 years old when I really was like, yo, I want to do that. Okay. I want to put what's up here. Yeah, on there.
That's amazing. I think too is like when we talk, I think we kind of have almost, I wouldn't say like exactly, but very similar backgrounds on why we like music and how we got in. Just it was mainly a creative space for me to just vent whatever I felt in my head. It was a more creative space. When did you know that you had like, okay, I know how to do a arithmetic pattern here. When did you know that was something that you
man, that at a very young age, actually. I can't even pinpoint the age itself, but I had to be maybe in like 5th grade. Okay. Maybe 4th. Okay. Because, the beating on the tables and everything, and teacher would walk out the room. Yeah. Have my little pencil and make a nice beat. Hey. And somebody would act like they could rap or whatever. Yeah. But my beat was on point though. Yeah. It was on tempo. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm good at this. Okay. So after that, really seeing my brother do it, put it into a tangible form. Well, that's when I like fell in love with it fully.
Were you ever in like band or any percussion lessons or anything like that?
That's what's crazy, DJ Malone. No, I was never. I didn't get into. I took 2 years of piano when in high school. At the end, like I'm talking about, like junior and senior year, when they first put it in as a fine art. Yeah, and then I was like, oh snap! But I had already taught myself how to play by ear in 7th grade.
Wow. Yeah. That was pre-internet.
That was pre-internet.
That's crazy.
We had an upright piano at the house, old school piano at the house, because my oldest brother did get piano lessons. Okay. But then when I found out that once I started making the beats and everything, and then I found out, I can write songs too. I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. I would go to the piano, nobody in the living room, and I would play and try to come up with concepts, little by little. Yeah.
That's amazing to me, man. Did you come from a musical background or just?
Yeah, my dad, he played guitar. Okay. And used to like just remake some old school songs, and everything, and sing it to us. Gospel is definitely my background. Okay. But my dad and my mother can sing, and all my siblings can sing. So we really came from a singing background first.
Okay.
Before actually producing music.
Okay. That makes sense. I get that. I like that. So let's fast forward now. Now you're getting into the school and everything. When did you know that, I guess, school, because it's not meant for everybody, but when did you know, as far as like the business, as far as like the music and the school, kind of like, okay, I can go to school for this and really go, because now it's not like a thing. It's like they can go online.
Yeah, I know. Man, great question, because I actually have something for that I never forget. Is I didn't go to college for audio engineering right out of high school. I didn't go till like 8 years later.
Wow.
What happened to me, to answer your question, was I went to a radio station.
Okay.
I had created an independent gospel label.
Okay.
And I had a few artists under my belt, and I had some staff or whatnot. And that first artist, I had their single. I felt like it was polished, it was ready.
Wow.
And I took it to a radio station in Baytown, I believe it was, and handed it to the program director.
Okay.
She loved it, but she said, do you have a mastered version? And I said, mastered? I said, I thought I did master it. I thought, like most people that don't know, they think mixing and mastering is the same thing.
Yeah. So
I was like, oh man, what? And I said, I guess not. And that right there, that humbled me. That humiliated me. You know what I mean? And that humility that it brought to me said, okay, let me stop acting like I really know everything I'm doing. Yeah. Just because I did the research and I went to YouTube University, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And everything. And let me just go to school and learn from a professional how to make this happen.
I'd like, and see, when I went to Columbia, and then as we talked before, it's just a foundational thing, because I went there because this doesn't work out. I can fall back. I can get a teaching job. Right. I can go into a church. I can go wherever.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I looked at it from like, I went for sound design and sound engineering and stuff. So what I will say is that, could I have learned that down the line and by myself? I could have, but I don't think I would learn the integral, like standard professional way.
Exactly.
So, and to your attest, that foundation sticks with you.
Sticks with me. Absolutely. I mean, I didn't know that I didn't know. You know what I mean? Until somebody professional said, you don't know, sir. Yeah. So I said, well, I guess I don't know. So I need to go find out. Yeah. Yes.
I like that, man. So now let's fast forward a little bit. Now you're in the Avant Media Institute. How did you get into that, and why did you choose it?
Man, I was working what they call a dead end job, out there and just providing for my family, Okay. And I was still doing sessions and studio work outside of that, but it was really killing me. Yeah. And trying to do the type of work I was doing. Okay. And so it was nowhere near the field that this is. So, make a long story short, I finally just made a decision. Well, Avant, the original curator of the curriculum, that set, I guess, with the president and the director and helped build the curriculum initially, he had already told me prior to Avant being made that he was going to get with his friend Ryan, who I hadn't met at the time, the president of the school, to try to build this thing. Yeah. I said, oh man, that's dope. Fast forward years later, he's calling me. Now the same guy is calling me maybe after Avant is about 4 years old at the time, and is asking, hey, Maestro, hey, we got this class open. Do you want to do it? Bro. At the time, the school was still so small, I couldn't make the pay make sense.
I get that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, man, I really would love to pour into other people's mind, you know what I'm saying, with this audio engineering and producing and everything and stuff. So I was like, okay, I would love the opportunity. Yeah. But I can't make it make sense to my living situation, Yeah. And it just so happened that at the job I was at, after 4 years working there, 3 of those years, I got calls from Avant, and I had to turn it down.
Wow.
And I got hurt on the job, and I was out for a year on workers' comp.
Okay.
And hit Avant up towards the end of that year. No, actually, they hit me up like the month before my workers' comp was up.
Wow.
And offered me the position that I was looking for anyway.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't the whole pay thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter no more because I couldn't go back and work there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and workers come, you know, they raping you. So
yeah, they definitely.
They taking 30% of my check, you know, type stuff. So, yeah. And I got in, I think it was 2018, 2019, one of the two.
I like that story because it shows that destiny will occur.
Yeah.
And so when it does occur, it sometimes I look at things as when you're not right. Well, not saying you're not right, but when it's time when it's time.
Right.
So it's like certain things you have to learn or you have to go through in order to appreciate or to let that slide through. If that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense, and that's really what happened. You know, it was timing is everything. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm definitely a strong believer, you know, in God and Christ, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was just time, you know, where everything seemed like doom and gloom around me. Didn't know I was going to get hurt and blah, 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 blah. I had to go through surgery and all of that. And then to still have the opportunity to come here and now I'm the department chair. Never saw it coming.
That's crazy.
Never saw it coming.
That's crazy. You know what? I will say this though. Ever since I met you, I like talking to you. One, because you're knowledgeable.
I appreciate that.
I like talking to people who know what they're talking about, and we can have a conversation about music and in-depth conversation. With that being said, how does it feel like you're contributing to a mass input on the underground independent scene? How do you feel like looking at it, has Avant helped the music independent scene and track society?
Yes. So I will admit Avant was really the fire starter because I've always been had a knack for teaching. You know what I mean? I grew up in the church, you know, from birth. Right. My dad was a pastor, so growing up in the church and teaching stuff like Sunday school and Bible study lessons and things, I always had the knack to stand in front of people and teach a lesson. Yeah. So bringing that now into the music scene, I'm like, man, I got a lot that I can complain about. You know what I'm saying? I said, but maybe I need to actually help. Yeah. You know, and since I do have those gifts are not for you. Yeah. Those gifts are for others. Yeah. So, man, looking at how the students were soaking in the knowledge, man, and then where they were going, taking off, you know, after the curriculum and everything, and the way they were responding to me, even outside of class, really showed that, this is really, like, this could work, you know, on another level. So when Baya hit me up in October last year to be a part of Track Society, it was a no-brainer for me. Because I was like, man, they need this. They need this.
I think, though, too, is that knowledge is key. And I've been saying that throughout this whole broadcast, knowledge is key. Is that a lot of people don't realize on when there's a lot of gatekeeping.
Yes.
So there's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of misinformation. Yeah. So when you're in the hands of the wrong person, you're just taught whatever you know. So I do think too is that it's a beautiful thing what you guys are doing here, and even having me a part of the situation from a radio standpoint.
Oh man, we appreciate you, bro.
It's tremendous, man. So
no, I mean we love what you do, man. So I mean, come on, DJs are the foundation of getting music out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially from a hip hop perspective. Yeah. So, and I mean, hip hop was birthed from disco and all of that. Yeah. And there were DJs then. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, no, man, we really appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure. Let me ask you this, and I want to talk to you about this, is how do you feel when artists are, before they even get to the radio, what do you think is like the things that they're missing out when in recording wise. It's like a lot of them don't understand you can keep your sessions, and it's like I was telling the guy, I was like, dude, he would call and say, oh yeah, I need to get the clean version. He doesn't have the clean version because he doesn't have the session to his song. So what is your like what advice could you give to artists when on the recording tip wise?
Always bring a hard drive. Buy you a hard drive, preferably SSD. But if you have to, have a little flash drive or something like that, make sure it's large enough to hold sessions. And always, what you pay for, you get.
Yeah.
What you pay for, you get. So at the end of the session, whether it's a complete session or not, you can ask the audio engineer for that session.
Yeah.
And you should get it. But you're right, DJ Malone, that a lot of people a lot of artists, especially independent-wise, don't know that it's theirs.
Yeah.
They think they just come in for the paying for a service, and if it's not done, then that's the end of it, and that's not how it works.
And the thing is, a lot of artists don't realize is that there's so many different forms. So you have like a performance track,
absolutely,
the intro track, the vocals. Sometimes you have the vocals taken out, but your background.
Acapella and
So and it is like a lot of people don't realize is that with that session, it's so much. That's essentially your masters.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you give somebody all that up just because you didn't know?
Just because you didn't know.
That's crazy, man.
And that's what's happening a lot. Is that a lot of artists don't know. A lot of independent music community people, period, don't know the differences between all of this information.
Wow.
And that's where Track Society comes in.
Wow.
Is to help actually direct, to say, hey, over here, artist, over here, manager, over here, potential label owner.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's going to actually help you not waste a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's what we're learning, is that a lot of people are wasting time.
And I want to ask you this. We're diving into the recording. What is, and I know what it is, but what is the difference between mixing and mastering? What is the difference between the two?
Awesome. Mixing is going to be actually putting all the elements together, getting a good blend, getting a good balance together. So I always relate it, my students laugh at me, but I always relate it to baking a cake or baking a pie. Okay. Right? You got to have all the ingredients. You go do a pinch of this, a pinch of that, a lot of this, a lot of that, and it goes all into one bowl, a mixing bowl.
Yeah.
And then once you've mixed it the way you believe it needs to go into mastering. Okay. So once it's done, you pour it in the pan, put it in the oven. After it's been baked and you take it out, the bells and whistles, the candles on the cake and the icing and the beautifying of the cake right before you serve it is the mastering. Okay. So just relating it to music itself, we got all these elements in a session, horns and pianos and vocals and background vocals and ad-libs have to sound good, blended well together. Well, really. Once that's done, it goes into mastering. All of that gets bounced into one 2-track file. Right. And then we actually do small enhancements to make sure that it's polished and ready for the public to hear. Right.
I want this to know too is that waves when in the mastering in a wave format is the best way.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't realize what's the difference between the wave and the MP3.
And the MP3.
So when of course MP3s is, I would say that's the final cut. You're gonna get that to me.
I would get that to you. Right,
so,
right.
But a producer or a engineer, you would give the wave more. It's just more better. Once I see a lot of times where artists, once they do record, they don't understand. One, I hear it all the time. Artists will come on into the studio, just did a song, and say, "I want to play it." No copyright, nothing of the sort. It's like, okay, so you just want to play, and you just got off of the record, and now you want to go. Why do you think there's such a misconception on copyright or misknowledge on copywriting and getting like your stuff on the back end good with BMI, ASCAP and stuff?
I don't think, specifically dealing with artists, I don't think artists really know that is putting out the music itself is really the last thing. You know what I mean? After the songwriting and after the arranging and everything like that, you have to get all your paperwork in order, right, so you can make sure that if this hits or when it does hit, you actually get paid. Right. I don't think they know that it's related to multiple streams of income to that one song. Yeah. So all they think about is your distribution, right, your digital distros. Yeah. Because that's going to put it in, Apple Music, Tidal, and Spotify. Right. Well, yeah, but those are just song sales. Yeah. Those are not different sync licenses. And, right. See? Exactly. So they don't really know what they really working with. One song can make a lot of money. Yeah, it definitely can. I think too is what's crazy is that I don't think a lot of people realize copyright. Okay. You can copyright a song, but it's not still good on the back end. It's just if somebody infringes you. Oh, right. Well, that's just the copyright. Yeah, because and then they don't know that by law, when you create a song, as long as it's in tangible form, it's you own it. Yeah. That's the law. Yeah. But when you create a copyright, you're registering that owned song. Yeah. So it's easier to prove that it's yours. Yeah. Yeah. But you still gotta register the work. Exactly. And BMI and ASCAP, like you were saying. The performances and everything. Right. That's your performance rights organization. They act like a union for songwriters and publishers. They make sure you get paid. Yeah. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's crazy though, man. It's a lack of knowledge. I hate it. I hate it though, man. It's a lack of knowledge, man. It's an ignorance that almost is like bliss because you don't know you're ignorant to it. Yeah, I like that. Social media and everything gives such a world view of what to do. Yeah, that you think that that's all. Yeah, but a lot of people are not looking behind the scenes to see, okay, what all was done before that I saw on social media. Exactly. And you brought me right to this. What do you think it is on the current state of music right now? Man, the current state of music right now, I'm disappointed. To be honest, I'm disappointed. Your creativity is yours. That's yours. Yeah. So I'm not even really talking about that. I'm more so dealing with the quality of music. I feel like the quality of music has gone down because the access of being able to put it out has ramped up. I like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it sucks because it gets put off as era against era, and it shouldn't be. I think it just comes off that way because of the frustrations of it. Yeah. But what it is that those who should be gatekeeping can't gatekeep fast enough than the digital age. You know what I mean? So for instance, audio engineering, we are the gatekeepers of sound. Wow. But if the technology world will allow you to buy interfaces at $100 and take it home and you can produce and engineer yourself, then you don't think you need a person like me. So then the quality of music or the quality of sound goes down, but you can put it out because you don't need to sign a deal with a distributor anymore either. Yeah. You're speaking some real gems here, man. Because I remember even when, first starting out, DJing equipment was $800-900. That's just even for the basic. Level. And I'm a former believer in, I think everybody is doing everything, but not mastering one thing. So, for instance, I master being a DJ, and then, I do other stuff, but DJing is always going to be the mastering thing. Absolutely. So I think a lot of people are going around and not mastering that one thing that they're good at, that one particular thing, but they might be, I do photography, I do graphics, but you stretch yourself out too much, and you're not mastering that one thing. Yes. So I think there's a lot of stuff going like that. That what you just said right there, man, is something that I've been talking even to some of my clients about. is that very thing, actually, because you're trying to do so much. You're not even, you're not paying homage to the small victories. If it's your first time recording and you recorded a song, that's a victory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because we're looking so far down the road at the goal line, you're running, and it seems like that goal line just keeps moving back.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times the independent community, they get burnt out.
Yeah.
So imagine this, a lack of information and your goal is unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's unattainable.
Yeah. And it's not unrealistic as though it can never be done. It's unrealistic to think that this right here, what I'm doing here, is going to end me there by next week.
No.
But that's the fallacy that's been put out over the digital age.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The music industry, consumer-wise and industry-wise, is getting younger.
Yeah.
You got 11-year-old, people making millions.
Yeah.
Off of holding the phone.
Yeah. But to your test of that, TikTok. And see, what's crazy is there's a lot of songs that blow up on TikTok that don't chart. So it as a radio head and then as a DJ, if I don't as a radio head, if I don't see it charting, then we're taught already that it's not charting, then it's not going on. But TikTok, Instagram will show you things differently. So now we're in a new era where it doesn't have to chart.
You don't have to.
So
yeah, and you can still make a living off of it. That's crazy. But there's still, but it's weird, man, because it's like you got to find the balance.
Yeah.
Because that's true what you just said. People almost run after it like it's that's where you get this whole sensation of want to go viral.
Yeah.
As though virality is the ultimate end goal, end game.
Viral is the new currency.
Right. And it's like, y'all do understand how volatile virality is.
Yeah.
It's an up and down thing. Okay, so Lil Nas X.
Okay.
Right? He did Old Town Road.
Yeah.
Right? Hit. Stayed number one in the world for like 6 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Okay. When he first made that song and it got hit, you think he got paid immediately? No. It's number one in the world. And you still got to wait a quarter to get your royalties on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but wait a minute. In order to hold on to that viral sensation or that virality, now I got to go ahead, because people are looking at me, I gotta go catch that Ellen DeGeneres show.
Yeah.
But I ain't got no money. Yeah. How am I gonna get out there? I gotta go make this appearance. I gotta go do that. I gotta do that to keep my virality going.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times that's when some of the vultures come in.
Yeah.
And say, here go 50 grand.
Yeah.
Here go this. You can just sign with me. Now, every contract is not bad. I'm not saying labels are bad.
Yeah.
That's not the truth. But you do need to understand that labels are investment houses. Yeah. They're just like a bank.
Yeah.
They're just an investment house. And based on the investment that you needed to read before you signed, that's how it goes. If it works for you, then it's a good contract.
Yeah.
If it does not work for you, then it's a bad one. But how you know which one is which?
Yeah.
When you've been independent this whole time.
And see, a lot of people don't know that, because this is why the importance of the Track Meet Summit. This is why it's so important to network with not just DJs, radio heads. I would love to bring back focus groups. I would love to bring that back, because I just thought it was a formula like. You got the ear from the regular folk, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody that was technical or nothing, but it was just somebody that, hey, I'm a consumer and I like to listen. I felt like that was a real good thing.
You know what, DJ Malone, if you don't mind, let me create this balance, okay? Because I said that part, right?
Yeah. Let
me give it a balance on the other side, okay? For my purists out there. For my purists, the people who, the music, it gotta be curated perfectly, and, you gotta spend 400 days on a song, and, this, that, and the other. I get it. As a matter of fact, you share my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you also got to consider the consumer and the era, and the fact that this is still a business.
Yeah.
It's a business. So yes, if the business says that, hey, it's okay for you to compromise with a simple song and a simple hook that's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Everything don't have to be conscious. Everything don't have to be this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You know, hip hop didn't start off conscious.
Yeah.
It was party music.
Yeah.
It was something to dance to.
Yeah.
It was call and response.
Yeah.
See? So let's stop playing. Let's stop being fake about it and understand that there's a balance to it. There's neither or extreme, but there is a balance that we can create. But man, if you're not taught this stuff nowadays with all the information that's out there, everybody got a pulpit.
Yeah.
Who you gonna listen to? Just choose one. Just scroll and choose one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I give my other people that understanding that, hey, I'm not biased on the one side. Yeah. I've grown up. I've learned. Even being from my era, I've grown up. I've learned. There's good music in this era.
Yeah.
There's music that's just bumping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of music that's not good to me.
Yeah.
But on the same flip of that coin, right?
Yeah.
There's some simple stuff out there that still go hard.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, come on, June 27th ain't the greatest song in the world.
No, but it's a call to action.
But it's a call to action. And it's a Houston anthem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, how can I then turn around and tell an independent artist that, hey, you know, everything has to be serious. You got to create serious songs, and it has to really have a great concept to it.
Yeah.
Nah, just make sure it's sellable. But make sure it's sellable without selling out your integrity.
Hey, I like that, man. We're going to go ahead and end it right there. But I really, this conversation has been really, really dope, man.
Thanks for letting me talk, bro.
And, very informative. I hope people really got to listen to you and everything. And I think, like I said, we need stuff like this. Where can the people find you, man? MySpace, everything.
Oh, man. Talking about social media, right? On IG, Maestro the Greatest. You just spell it out, one word, no underscores, anything. Maestro the Greatest, Maestro. Pretty much right there. I'm always on IG for the most part for my business or whatnot. I do have TikTok as well as Maestro the Great.
Okay.
So they can catch me there.
Hey, man. Make sure you guys stay in tune. Tomorrow we will be back on at 10 a.m., man, with all this and more with the one and only DJ Malone right here at Chicago 77.3. We're going to be back here at the Avant Media Institute at Track Meet 2024. Big shouts to the Track Society, man. Big shouts to Bayer, man. Everything else. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and end it like that, man. Until tomorrow, it's the one and only DJ Fred Malone. We out.
Peace.
Wow.
We lit live. This is WBBC Chicago. Yeah. 77.3. Your hot.